Good afternoon. Thank you for coming and being interested in this issue. I will be presenting Risonance. And Risonance, as it says, it deals with reasoning about disaster risk governance. So the issue is, what is Risonance? Risonance is a policy support system that serves two functions. The first function is to evaluate disaster risk governance, and the second one is to engage societal actors in order to raise awareness about risk, in order to engage them in the production of knowledge, and also in promoting social learning. I haven't introduced myself, by the way, but I am Urbano Fra from the University of Extremadura, and this is where we have been developing this tool. Okay. As regards to the first goal of this tool, to evaluate disaster risk governance, the aim is to support the advancement of disaster risk governance and informed policy making by detecting and identifying gaps and identifying weaknesses as well as strengths, of course, and to adapt and to adopt new policies, and also to monitor the impact of policies implemented by different levels of government. So what Risonance is not, I think it is also important to not get confused, because Risonance does not evaluate government, it evaluates governance. It doesn't assess hazards or damages and losses, or it doesn't help to evaluate how to respond to disaster. But how does it work? Well, it works allowing by identifying which are the types of societal institutions, formal and informal, and also identifying the level of development of these institutions. And when I say institutions, I'm not talking about organizations, which is another institution as well, but I mean with institutions, the legal framework, programs and actions, policies, and as well as organizations. What are the principles that inspire this tool, this policy support system? Well, it is a voluntary process of evaluation. So governments apply for this evaluation. It is collaborative because it works with the government as well, with the different actors participating in the process of evaluation. It is based on evidences which are provided by the government, and if not, societal actors will provide them. And it is participatory and expert-based at the same time, integrated both types of knowledges. So Risonance is a system, as you have seen in the different slides. It has been conceived as basically as three components. The first component is a method for the evaluation. The second component are the criteria used to evaluate. And the third, it is a software that supports the whole process of evaluation. Regarding this software, the software is an online tool that allows for an ubiquitous evaluation. So evaluators don't need to be in the same place at the same time, so it is also asynchronous. It assists communication between them and ensures the security of data as well. The software also supports a knowledge base where all the information from the government or different societal actors is stored during the process of evaluation. And finally, it is an expert base because it collects also the information of different expertise that can be used in the process of evaluation. So what's the approach for this tool, for this policy support system? Well, the approach is, of course, disaster risk and governance, but also we have considered the inclusion of those dimensions that have to do with, and this I exemplify them as access in different directions that increase the vulnerability of communities. So we also understand we should evaluate those dimensions in terms of, for example, environmental sustainability, equity, or the different securities like food, land, water, health, security. this is how the tool is organized into 6 dimensions. And these dimensions have to do with all the criteria are organized around these 6 dimensions. And this is the first step in the structure of the criteria used. This is this is a long set of criteria. We have already developed more than 70, and these are being described. They are connected, interconnected, because they can be evaluated from different perspectives. And there is a constellation of participants which makes it as well as a system in which different actors play different roles in the process of evaluation. So finally, what is Risonance? So Risonance is a policy support system, but it is also a mechanism that can be embedded within the governance system and becomes another component of the governance system. Finally, I'd like to bring just 2 examples, 2 screen captures of the tool. So this is the discussion tool between the different participants, these actors in the process of evaluation, and their dialogue, their discussions, and finally, the results that are being represented graphically. So thank you very much for your patience, your attention. And I would like to invite you also, if you are interested in being engaged and contribute to the future development of this tool, please, you can contact me. Thank you very much. If you have questions, we still have some minutes, right? Okay. Yes, please.
Where is it being used now? Oh, you can just say to people, where is it being used now?
Pardon?
Where is it being used now?
No, it is not being used yet.
Oh, tell people.
Yeah, the question that was raised by, in the floor is where it is being used now. It is not being used now. It is in the test phase, and also we are being examined, and we are going to be examined by different experts in order to get their feedback and input about what. And this is how it is so important to have the feedback also from the organizations that are potential users.
Yes, I'm interested in hearing more about the issues of vulnerability. You referred to food, land, water, health, and security. Can you tell me how you address it and what variables you compare them to?
Okay, usually the criteria used are always referred to disaster risk, but not criteria referring to all those kind of securities. So this is how we consider the different most important institutions. When I say institutions, I mean all those components of the governance system that deal with these vulnerabilities. Who is responsible for water management? What kind of approaches are used for water management? Who is involved in water management? Those are criteria that are being used. We cannot deepen very much into these type criteria, otherwise it could be a different tool to evaluate those securities, but we do consider those criteria in order to understand the complexity and the underlying factors of vulnerability and ultimately risk. No more questions? Okay, thank you so much.